Okay, I'm going to do more practice problems that are similar to test questions. The test is on Canvas. Let's see. And it's due next week on the 2nd, which is Tuesday, 3/2/21. Okay, let's see. I'm thinking that it would help if you show some of your work, but you don't have to show your work. You could just put the answer, and that's okay, as long as it's the correct answer. If it's close to right, I'll have to take away a few points, but just no response is definitely going to be 0 points. So try each question. Let me know if you need help. And I think that's it. Any questions? We have examples to do, and we left off with integral notation. So we're going to do some more integrals. I definitely want to practice finding quartiles and then just a few other examples.
Professor Walker, we get unlimited attempts, right?
Yes. So if you want to like add to your response or change your response, it should be open all week. All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with less than or equal to 6. Okay, your x values on some number line. So these are x in the real numbers such that x is less than or equal to 6. 6. We can include that number and everything less than that number. And if it's new to read this, what you can do is use 6 as a place to cut the number line in half. And you can test some number over here below 6 or some number above 6 and just see which side is true, which side is false. We'll do 1 for today. Okay. 5 in this phrase would be 5 less than or equal to 6, which is true. So this is correct, and then we'll try 7. 7 less than or equal to 6 is false. So do not include that number or any other numbers above, strictly above 6. Okay, we're going from negative infinity up to and including that number. You could type it. Next set will be all x Okay. Moving on from number 1, going to number 2 of the set. X, we're kind of leaving out that x is a real number. All x that are real numbers such that x is greater than -1 and less than 9. We're going to mark -1 and 9. Don't include either of the numbers, so I'll start with an open circle. And then your test intervals go from -infinity up to -1. So try any number below that number, -1, or between -1 and 9. And then numbers past 9. So it's one interval, 2 interval, like 3 intervals to test. So 0 would be true, -1 is less than 0, 0 is less than 9. This whole interval is the true. We'll make that statement true. If you try something like -5, it would make, see, this part false. -1 less than -5 would be false. We leave out those numbers. Same with something like 10. 10 less than 9 is false. So everything past 9 is not included in your set. Just from -1 up to 9. And the parentheses leave out those numbers, the strict inequality. Last one for interval notation. Okay. Let's do -3 is greater than or equal to x. Okay, so it helps to draw a graph. Place -3. I'm gonna just put a little bit more to it just for fun. Okay. -3 is greater than or equal to, so we can include this number. And everything above it for our x values. -3 is greater than these numbers. That's the wrong way. Those numbers are greater than -3. We need this side. -3 would be greater than or equal to those numbers. -3 is greater than or equal to -4. -3 is greater than or equal to -100. So we go from -infinity over to -3 and include. So Let's try a question about bar graphs. So, consider the following bar graph. Or bar chart, either way. Categories, I've got, let's go just letters X, Y, Z. This goes up to 10. And then up to 25. And 30. Okay, first we'll say how many classes? 1, 2, 3. Find the frequency of the first class, or the frequency of X. So this side is for frequency, this side is your classes. We have a frequency of 10. The frequency of the last class, Z. That was that height. Well, it should go up to, goes up to 30. So that's all you put down. And I did not include a question about relative frequency, but while we're here with a cool graph, let's ask a question about the relative frequency for, let's do Z. Relative frequency for Z. For practice. So we have to get the total number of frequencies. 10 plus 25 plus 30. Okay, 35 plus 30, we're at 65. Let me know if you see any mistakes. Relative frequency is to take the frequency for Z, 30, divide by that total, 65. That was 30 out of 65. I will change it to some, we'll check out, it turns out on as a decimal. But you could type a fraction. This would be fine as your answer if this was your question. Also, 30 divided by 65 is, wow, we're going to round it to 0.46. So don't worry about rounding. I mean, you should show a few decimal places, but it's, I don't know. I think the answer should have come out kind of clean, but let me know if you're concerned about any of the questions on the test. Let's move on to some kind of histogram. Draw together. Let's see. So this side is for frequency. This is where I like to put classes. And our first class starts at 10. Little space. 10, 20, 30, 40. We'll just mark this side like 1, 2, 3, 4. And the first class between 10 and 20 has a height of 4. And we're actually just going to cut it descend. So next class will have height 3, then height 2, and we're still second one. So what is the frequency of the second to last class between 30 and 40? It includes 30, it goes over to 40, it doesn't actually include that one. Okay, so we go here and get that height. The height was, well, the drawing is supposed to be, so it's a 4, it's a 3, it's supposed to be 2. It's supposed to be, okay. How many classes? 2, 3, 4 classes. I think that's all we need, really. I could ask about relative frequency. No, I want to start to practice quartiles. So let's move to that topic unless there's any questions or concerns about histograms and bar charts.
Sorry, I had a quick question. So on the test, how are we going to on the answer key?
It broke up a little bit. So I heard something kind of like on the test, how should we put our answer? Or could you try to say it again?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay. I mean, you could put four classes. Here you can see, you could type it out. The frequency is 2. Or you could just put 2.
I think maybe also to clear up his question too, we're not going to be actually creating a histogram or bar graph. We're going to be applying the graph given to us for questions, right? We're not creating our own for like a problem.
Yeah, you have to just
create one.
read something that's been given to you.
Yeah, we wouldn't be creating one from data. We'd be answering it from like the one given. I think that hopefully clears up the question too.
Yeah, that was the question. Thank you.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, so it should be either a bar chart or histogram and a question that just asks something specific for you to like read from the picture. Okay, so I want to go over quartiles, make sure we get enough practice for that. And we need to also cover average and then standard deviation and variance. Yeah, quartiles first. C is the set. It's gonna actually have a lot in the set, so let's write this way. C is the set that contains. Let's go with 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. 17, 18, 20, 22.
Professor, what's the first number again? There's a glare.
Yeah, 6. Let me see
6,
if I
okay.
That's a bit better. Cool. All right, so continuing with 24, 30, 31, and that's it. We're going to get all of the quartiles. First quartile I find is Q2. Find Q2. So you find the median of the set, go to the edges. Most of it, well, it should be the case that your set is already in increasing order, and then work your way to the middle. Let's just color these. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4 times. 5 times. 2 numbers in the middle mean that we take the average of them. So 17 plus 18 divided by 2. $17.5. When Q2 is not in the set, you use it as a divider and just split the set into 2 parts. From the bottom half, we find Q1. It's the median of the bottom half. Let's go with 1, 2. So again, I have 2 numbers in the middle. We're going to take the average of 10 and 12 to get Q1. So between 18 and 31, we'll find the middle, and that's Q3. Let's try this and another, and 2 numbers in the middle where we take the average of those numbers. So 22 added to 24, divide by 2. Be 23. Those are the quartiles. Q1 is the first quartile. The next set is also going to have a lot of elements in it. Okay, B will be the set that contains 50, 52, 60, 70. with 78, 80, 85. So let's do a bunch more of those. 90, 94, 100. 110. And let's see. Let's try that. We'll close the set. See what happens. 1, 2, 3. Get the quartiles. Let's get the glare. I would start with Q2. Whatever problem you're working on, it kind of helps to get that middle part, the median. We have everything in increasing order, so start from the edges and get towards the middle. Once, twice, once, twice, 1, 1. I have 80 in the center, so that should be Q2. When Q2 is a number in the set, use it twice. Use it for the bottom part, and then use it for the top part. I would start with this. I like to start on the bottom half of the set. Q1. Go from 50 up to and including. Find the center or the middle. From the edges to the center. Okay, here's a situation where there's two numbers in the middle where we take the average of them. Q3 will be found in the set that includes 80 and goes up to 110. So work from the edge to the middle. And we take the average of 90 and 94. That was the second quartile. This is the first quartile, and last one is the third quartile.
Professor, will we be given any questions on the exam to give the 5-number summary?
No.
Okay.
So I just want to mention, or someone brought it up, that you have unlimited attempts, which means if you want to just look at the test and not put any responses, you can always come back and then start to do the test. So don't be afraid to open up the test and check out what kind of questions there are. It won't lock. It's it's this problems for you to start practicing and working on. Let's do another one of these. Let's call this.
So the answers, I mean, the order might be flipped around, but like the questions, however many attempts we take, the questions will always be the same. It's just they might not be in the same order. So like if we say, say we looked at it right after class, wrote down in a notebook or like took pictures of the exam, did those, and then went in for a second attempt, and we're going to use our notes just to fill right in instead of working at the same time as the first time seeing them. You could do that because they would be the same questions, just in maybe a different order, right?
Yeah, and actually I think it should set so it even stays in the same order.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I made the questions, so it's not going to do any like similar but different problems. They're just my problems.
Okay.
That's cool. Okay, but these ones were kind of just making it.
Right.
Okay, so from my experience, I think this is the hardest topic. So I want to do one more example for this, possibly two more examples. And then the last parts are kind of easy. So let the set be A, and it's equal to the set that contains. Let's try. We'll start at -20 and work our way over. -17, -10, -8, -3, -1, 0. One, two, four, five. And we will find all of the quartiles, but the questions I've asked are something like find the first quartile or find the second quartile. So one specifically. When you're doing your test.
Professor, that's not 1.2, right? That's just a smaller comma.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Cool. Thank you. So we go to the edges and find the median, the middle. Here, let's go like 2 times, 2 more times, once, I got a number, I got 0. Just checking. We use 0 twice. It's a number in the set, so for the bottom half of the set, include 0. The top half of the set, include 0. This way. Let's go with 1 step, 2, 3. Awesome. -8 was in the center, so that's Q1. Q3. Okay, let's get this kind of clean. Use 0 again, use Q2 again. And we'll go with 0, 1, 6, 2, 5. 4 is in the center, or 4 is in the middle. Okay, How do we feel about this? One more example, yes or no? Anybody? Cool, I think it's good. Got one or two sets that we'll do the average of, and then a quick little question or so about variance. Forget how I wrote these. Something like for the set, or find the average of the set. Okay, so what this says is add all of the x values, all of the numbers in the set, divide by the total number of values. Okay, this is the set. It doesn't have a name. It just includes 20, 50, 100, 200. Okay, so the average where the formula is to sum all of these x values, divide by the total number of values that you have. 20 plus 50 plus 100 plus 200. One, two, three, four total. I got them. Okay. And then I would use a calculator. So we'll get some kind of number. Just please simplify your answers if possible. I didn't write that in the instructions, but it would help me to grade everything faster. Or if you have the answer, you can also share in the chat, but working on it. Get this together.
I got 92.5.
Oops. Yeah, thank you. Let's try another one. So for the set, that contains negative, let's go with negative 2, 0, 5, 11, 17. Find the average. So add these values together divide by the total number of values that you have. -2 plus 0 plus 5. 11, 17. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. Well, just gonna find the answer. I got 8.5. Nice. All right. I think average is pretty clear. I'm going to go on to standard deviation. Okay, standard deviation equals 100. The symbol for standard deviation is sigma. As a symbol, and it is the number 100. Find, or what is, the variance. So see, 100 times 100 will give you 2 more zeros. You can always check. I'm not the best calculator, but I have studied for a very long time. 100 times 100 is 10,000. Okay, let's say though that it said the variance equals 100. Okay, this time you know what the variance is. Equal to 100. The symbol for variance is sigma squared. Okay, so take this equation, square root both sides to get rid of that power, and on this side, square root of 100 will give you 10. The variance of a variable is, just pick something, 40. Okay, variance equals sigma squared, and also from this problem equals 40. So we'll square root both sides to get the standard deviation, which is sigma. And I would use a calculator. So the root of 40. $6.32. Let's go with that. Okay, so last one. I mean, the only other kind of question on the test is about a dot plot. It's pretty straightforward. We could draw a quick dot plot, but yeah, we'll probably do that for fun. Okay, so this is the last kind of serious question. Then we'll do a fun one. That's good. If the standard deviation of a variable is, let's go with 4.5. And I know these problems might seem kind of random, but we actually will use them in the next chapter. So the class is not designed to be cumulative, but I picked a section that happens to use variance and standard deviation. So that'll come up when we do probability in chapter 16. So standard deviation is sigma. It equals 4.5. Variance is sigma squared. 4.5 and square it. 4.5 times 4.5. Is 20.25. The last kind of question that I created was about a dot plot. So this is for the categories. The categories are RST. Go like this, it's kind of across, stack. Okay. So the dots represent the number of occurrences, which is the frequency. The category you're looking at is T, has a frequency of 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also just put 4, it's fine. The frequency for, let's do the total number of frequencies. All of the dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And for practice, we will find the relative frequency for S. S occurs 3 times out of a total of 9 times. So 1/3 would be like 0.3 repeating. I'm just going to check. So this would be more difficult to type. I would put this as your answer. That should be everything. So right now I'm on the side working on loading our previous meetings and also working on responding to emails that I haven't written back to. And I think that is it. We're done with the review.